Hi everyone, my name is Linda Emelianov and I represent Helsinki Business Hub, that is the international trade and investment promotion agency for the city of Helsinki or for the Helsinki region. Today I'm going to tell you about Helsinki and why you should consider living and working here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment box or in our booth later on. I will reply to you then. Let's start with the very basic facts. So I don't know how many of you even know Helsinki or Finland, but it's located in the Nordics, in Finland, in the southern part of the country. Helsinki, we typically talk Helsinki region or capital region, which is consisting of the cities of Helsinki, Espoo, Vantaa, and the surrounding areas. So maybe the good thing to understand here is that Helsinki is not only one city in there, because it's Helsinki and Espoo and Vantaa are like very close, and you can easily live in Espoo and work in Helsinki and travel to your work, for example, in 20 minutes or so. This area or capital region is home to around 1.5 million people. In Helsinki itself, it's only 650. And fun fact, or the differentiating factor between us and the other Nordic countries, is that we are the only one using euros. Here in Finland or in Helsinki, we also have a booming startup ecosystem, and I think most of you might know us from our gaming companies and gaming ecosystem, or in general know us as a gaming hub. Obviously, most of the gaming companies are also from the capital region, but it's good to know that those gaming companies also all over Finland in other big cities as well. Helsinki has gone through a tremendous transformation during the past few years, and it has become much more international and active place during the past 20, even 5 years. We have a booming, startup ecosystem, like I already said, but also booming restaurant scene. And there's a lot of things happening around Helsinki. And I would say that this is maybe the most exciting time to live in Helsinki right now, because it's changing so fast and in a good direction, of course. But hey, why Helsinki then? What is so special about this Nordic, cold, dark city and country then? First of all, Finland has been nominated as the happiest country in the world already a few years in a row. I think funny thing about this is that every year when this comes out, or every year all the Finns they don't really understand why. And I think this pretty much describes the modesty of us Finns and the culture here. But why it's happiest country, I'm going to list or tell you a few facts about it. First of all, Finland is a very safe country, and Helsinki is also a safe city. This can be seen, for example, in a way that even kids in their elementary school can go or walk to school or take a bus to school by themselves. So it's not really dangerous for them to walk alone on streets or anything. Other thing is that trust is actually one of the core values in Finland. People do trust each other and the society. Finns are very open and honest people, and I would say that maybe these values are also behind the reason, because Finland used to be a poor country under everyone else, but I think these are the factors or the values that has helped us to come to the place where we are currently, a Nordic welfare state and everything working quite well. Also, Finland, Helsinki too, we're quite stable and equal society. So Finland has been in those listings of one of the least corrupted countries quite often. Our political situation is stable, democratic. Our gender equality is in an excellent level. For example, I don't know if any of you have seen any news about our female-led government during the COVID crisis. So I think this describes it quite well. Overall, in Finland, everybody is kind of offered the same opportunities. So it doesn't really matter that much in what kind of family you've been born, because our society and country is trying to kind of give everybody the same opportunities with the free education and things like that, what we have here. Nature is always close here in Helsinki. I've heard the saying that 30% of the city is covered by the forest, and it's pretty much true, because you can always see a tree. Now that I'm looking outside, I'm seeing a tree again. Helsinki is also surrounded by the sea, and I would say that sea is kind of it's in a big part in the city, and there are many areas that are even islands or that are in the coastline. So you can see a sea here very well also. We have a lot of beautiful parks and islands very close to the cities, or you can reach them easily by public transportation, where you can go to relax and empty your mind after a long hard day. So nature, you can really see it here. Also, our quality of water and air is very good here. I just 2 days ago ran up to a study that stated Helsinki having the purest air and water among European capitals. The water is, of course, drinkable and usually better option than any bottled options. Everyday life here is it's smooth and simple. Everything works pretty well. Our city is well connected inside, but also outside. So, for example, to other cities here in Finland, our public transportation system is great. It's working well. The average time for commuting is only about 26 minutes per day. So it means that you would really have more time to other things as well, besides just traveling. Also, the biking is quite easy here. The biking routes has been improved recently by the city. Of course, during the coldest winter months, it's not maybe the most enjoyable thing to do, but by having the right gear, some people are crazy enough to do that too. But in Helsinki, you can survive with English quite easily. Almost all the Finns, we do speak English. Our language is quite small and rare, so we start to learn it already in elementary school. Of course, if you would live here longer, it might be beneficial to learn at least something or some words to understand the culture and the people a bit better, but it's not really mandatory. Also, there's an option because Swedish is an official language here too, so that might be easier to learn because it's closer to English. But I have to admit that even though it's mandatory for us to study Swedish at school, people do not generally speak that quite well. But anyway, by speaking English, you should survive very, very easily here. Work-life balance here in Helsinki means, or 9 to 5 means 9 to 5. You are able or allowed to have work time and free time, and you don't nobody's expecting you to work 24/7. Of course, if you want to work, you're allowed to. So it's not like that way, like you can do whatever you want to, but it's like the culture here is that people are encouraged to have a life as well, a life besides work as well. So here you can freely enjoy your hobbies, spend time with your family, friends, or whatever you would like to do in your free time. Another thing that you would quite soon notice if you would come to Helsinki is that we are a low hierarchy country. Everybody is basically treated the same way in Finland. So even the presidents and the prime ministers don't get any like super VIP services, or they can just basically hang out in the same places with the normal people, go to cafeterias, and that way live more normal life. In companies, this can be seen in a way that it's quite acceptable and even encouraged to bring your ideas to your supervisors and executives, and people are in general quite easily accessible here. One thing that most people might know also about Finland is that our education is free and among the best in the world. Even the kindergartens are quite affordable, only like a few €100 a month, depending on your income. For if it's low enough, it can be even free. Also, and what's different to many places is also that universities are free of charge. You only need to pay like maybe €100 membership fee to your department or something, and that's basically it. In Helsinki, Helsinki region, we have a few different universities and a lot of English-speaking degrees available. So it's also completely possible to study here. And then the last thing is our healthcare, which is also very good quality. It's also free or very low cost, easy to access. So you don't need to buy any expensive insurances if you live in Finland. Usually also workplaces offer healthcare for their employees, which is quite normal in other places, I guess, too. Anyway, we consistently top these different kinds of rankings by having the most stable country or happiest country or most digital. So everything's working pretty well. But I cannot do this presentation without mentioning our sauna culture, which is quite I don't know what to say here, but the basic thing of the Finnish culture. I think almost all the people have sauna, either in their apartment, in their house, in their their building, in their summer cottage, or anywhere. So I think I've heard the saying that we have more saunas than cars, but I don't really know if it's true or not. And the thing that I want to emphasize in this presentation is also that I don't know how many of you have heard of this program called 90 Day Finn that we recently had. So there were 13 people with their families or co-founders coming to Helsinki to live there, to try the life here, like locals do. And the program ended last Friday, and I was having a chat with a few of the participants, and all of them said that something that is different in Finland is the nature. So honestly, the nature is everywhere. And the other thing that is working like really, really well, and what was really in their minds, was that the public transportation. Even though you would live more far away from the city center, it would still be quite easy to come to the center by the public transportation. And you don't really need to own a car if you don't want to. It might be even harder to own one here. But anyway, if you want to move to Helsinki, what should you do then? If you're living outside European Union or European Economic Area, you would need a permit to stay here over 90 days. I won't go this through here. I have a link in the end of the presentation where you can see where you can find more information. But the one that might be the most relevant is that there is a highly skilled specialist visa for the ones, or maybe most of you might also qualify to this one. And also if for the startup entrepreneurs, there is one. Of course, these are now for the people who are outside European Union. And then, of course, family, student, and so on. But like I said, there are links at the end of my presentation that you can visit. Then I want to, this organization, like if you're really coming to here, this is something that you should definitely know. International House Helsinki is the kind of organization or the service that is helping you in basically everything. They have all those relocation services under one roof, and they can really help and answer to your questions. So put this in your mind if you're planning to come here. Here's the links or the organizations where you can find more information about it. I'm also happy to answer all the questions that you have or guide you to the right direction if I'm not allowed to answer myself. Thank you very much for hearing this. Maybe also one thing I before we go forward is that I'm currently working still for Helsinki Business Hub, but our company is merging soon and it's becoming Helsinki Partners. So in case you will run up to this when you're searching for information, it's the same as we are, or the same organization as Helsinki Business Hub. So irrelevant fact here, but otherwise, thank you very much. Feel free to ask questions here or in our booth or send me an email or anything. Thanks.
Very much, Linda, for your presentation. Is it too cold in winters? We have a question.
That's actually something that I forgot from this presentation, because people, yes, Finland is colder than Southern Europe, for example, but it's also, there are some differences between the Lapland and the southern part of Finland. So, for example, we might not always get even snow here in Helsinki nowadays. But last winter was really cold. We had like minus 15 degrees or something here in the capital region as well. So it can be really cold. So prepare with a proper winter jacket if you come here.